Hello, people watching this. So, I hope you're all having a great day. I know I'm having a pretty decent day myself. Um, and I'll get into the reason for that. So, basically, I'm going to be showing something I did with Fallen Order modding today. I only spent today on it, and there's not much to it, but I'm going to be showing a couple cool things that I can do now that I have, an SDK and stuff like that. But before I get into that, a little bit of background. So basically, um, earlier in the year, around maybe November, actually it might have been last year, around November to January, somewhere in between there, I did a couple Fallen Order texture mods. They were simple little things, stupid texture mods. Um, Low effort, just to screw around, see what could be done, this, that. And, after that, I pretty much didn't do anything else for a number of reasons, but one of them being I looked into modding it, and around the same time I was looking into modding it and doing some stuff, I got bored. And I was in the middle of working on a couple other things that this kind of just got pushed on the back burner. And then that was pretty much the end of that after those one or two Fallen Order texture mod videos. Then, I believe in May or something like that, when they created the arena level thing, I put out like a mod video, I guess, of a bigger arena grid, which really wasn't a mod, it was just a cheat engine thing. Anyone could do it, it was an F vector. But pretty much, that leads to here. So I've tried and screwed around with generating an SDK back when I was somewhat new at it, for Fallen Order, to not really any avail. There were a multitude of issues. Especially because Fallen Order's EXE is completely and utterly unreadable garbage. In fact, when I first saw it, I closed out of it, went on the couch and fell asleep for 3 hours because I did not want to look at that kind of thing ever again, and I'll show you right here. If this doesn't make you want to run to your couch and fall asleep for at least the next 7 days, yeah, I don't know what will. There is almost nothing readable in here other than some sound things for AK systems. So, yeah, I pretty much didn't want to work on it. I called it a day. And I do, if my memory serves me correct, I think some people did do some model mods and stuff like that with hex editing. I did, my friend told me about that stuff. But, and I think that's great and all, but personally, I'm not a model person. I don't like I don't like modeling, I don't like editing mods. I think it's cool when some people do it. It's just not for me. It's a personal preference. I like logic mods, programming stuff. So, pretty much that brings us back to here. So, along the way of me doing random stuff, reversing and all that stuff, a close friend of mine, Clone Trooper 163, um, would be repeatedly writing me every time I post something, DM or otherwise. If I was to send him a picture of me modding Deep Rock Galactic, he'd be like, "That's great, one's Fallen Order." He did it to get under my nerves because I didn't want to work on it because I was lazy and I really didn't want to go through trying to figure out what was wrong. So, he did that a couple times. It was funny. He's a good guy. You should check him out. I'll have a link below. But, I finally thought about it and went, you know what? Why not? It doesn't matter if it works or if it doesn't work. Just try it again now with what I know. And I did it today. I booted it up around like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went to work with it, and I was able to get an SDK and do some pretty cool stuff. So, I have an SDK, I have all of the global variables that I need, the process event. If you did watch any of the other videos I had, you should know what those are. This isn't a tutorial or showing you how to do this, and I'm not going to be releasing this right now because the SDK still has issues. I want to manually put stuff in, and I don't think anyone would want it. If you want it, I mean, I guess you could, yeah, leave a comment if you want it, and I will just probably drop a link, or I will one day put it on GitHub. But at the moment, there's no need, because you can do a lot with it, but I still want to add stuff to the SDK. I'm sure that there could be improvements, because Fallen Order is a very finicky game. I might even release the source code for a couple mods that I do. But pretty much, I was able to generate an SDK. It was a little harder than I thought, but when it came down to it, it was easier than I thought. I was overthinking it. So I have a working SDK. And with that working SDK, hopefully, you should know if you watch me, SDKs for Unreal Engine games, you can pretty much call any function, get any variable, basically manipulate the game any way you want with what is printed out into the SDK gen. And since I have an SDK gen, I can do some pretty neat things. So first off, I'm going to do something simple, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to simply unpossess the character. And the way I'm going to do that is I have some functions set up below, or variables actually, that get set here. And these variables are pretty much the equivalent of UE4 variables, where, the local players, your player controller, this, that. I have some things set up for Fallen Order specifically. But what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is I'm going to first show off that functions can in fact be called from the game. And one of my greatest test functions I use is unpossessed, because you can obviously tell when you're unpossessed. You're not moving, you're not in a body, you're a fucking spirit. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just unpossess from the player controller. I'm going to build it real quick. And when it is injected, it should unpossess from the main character. Now, of course, I've tested this. This works already. I can already prove that. But I want to show this off as a record. So let's inject it. Injected. And as you can tell, it did in fact unpossess. You can't move around. You're not in a body anymore. You can actually get a photo mode still, though. And I think if you go back, does it escape? Yeah, it doesn't possess you with the palm because you're unpossessed. So, that's a great way to test it. It is completely unpossessed. The UI is all but gone. Not much you can do, but this shows that it is in fact working. The SDK works. Process event works, and I can call game functions and manipulate things. I'll give another example, actually. I'm going to give a few. So, I have the pawn here that they use. So let's open Fallen Order so that it's already running, because I know that takes time to load up. So let's go to Hero, and since it is a character, I believe, let's go to, there should be a mesh. Actually, no, you know what? Screw that. Instead of doing that, let's scale him up. Let's scale up Cal's blueprint. So I should be able to just, I forget the UE4 function name. Set actor 3D scale. Perfect. It is an F vector, right? Yep. Alright. Make vector. I'll set him to like 10 should be a good number. Let's see how big he gets. Again, this isn't something super complex at the moment. I'm not coding like my engine mod that I did, although it would be really cool to get that engine mod I made from Satisfactory over to Fallen Order. I would like to do that, but that's all in time. So pretty much, again, not much. I only did this today, so I can still try out a lot of stuff. I can call actual game functions. I can do some pretty cool stuff, but I'm just trying to keep it slimmed down just for this. This is more of a testing video of it, showing that logic mods are possible. Let's inject again. Actually, did I comment out that unpossess? No, I did not. That could have been an issue. There we go. Build. Inject. Well, I didn't scale back the camera or move it, so let's go into photo mode and just take a look. Jesus Christ. If I worshipped a god, this would be the god. Look at that. Wow. So that shows, another type of thing. I can interact with game objects like this. Works pretty well. as you can see, it's all pretty good. And, do you stay like that if you kill yourself? I didn't try that, actually. No, you don't. Alright. Well, let's X out of that. Let's do a couple more little tests. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something a little more different and difficult. I usually code in a call for spawn actor. I don't like using begin deferred spawn actor, but it's good for testing. I usually use the spawn actor I get from Ida with the bytes, and I just put it in. But since Fallen Order doesn't, its IDA file is completely fucked, I only am limited to using what I can right now. I'll probably try doing what I did for the process event with that stuff, and I'll maybe make a little update. But what I'm going to do is, the goal right now is I'm going to just spawn a class. I'm going to spawn an AI class. It's not going to be interactable because it isn't set up properly. But if I can spawn it in-game, it's another showing of what can be done with, what I'm doing. If I continue this, this might be a one day. I go to sleep tomorrow and call it a day. I don't care. This really isn't that big of a thing for me. It's just another game. Let's go to here. Console mods. And inject my DLL. Wrong DLL. What was the point in that again? Did I add something or change something? I was going to spawn. I forgot. My bad. Alright, let's reopen that. Alright, so I actually have some stuff set up. So for the transform, I get the pawn, and I get the transform with the pawn, and it sets the transform, because that's where I want to spawn the actor. Let's do that, so I have something to cast it to. And I have right here, gameplay statistics. You should know all of this if you, do it. And for what I want to spawn, I'm going to spawn this right here, this class, because I know that this is the Stormtrooper class. So what I'll do is I'll do SDK, UOBJ, find class. Should do it. Let's comment that out. Let's just see what happens. Inject. Spawned. And as you can see, it did in fact spawn a Stormtrooper. While it is not correctly set up, because I didn't go through the Stormtrooper's functions, and there's probably shit I gotta call, it did in fact spawn. So, there's that. I don't think you can kill it. There's probably not a health variable set to it. But it shows that things can be spawned into the game, which means a lot of other stuff can be done. I might look at pack modding, but for a game like Fallen Order that has that weird issue with blueprints and stuff, I might not. But, it doesn't hurt. For all I know, I find a way to unify it so that it does in fact work, as I did for another game. But, yeah, even though this was a pretty simple little test video, I just wanted to show off the newest thing I was doing, because I haven't posted in a while. And I will have some cool new videos coming soon. One will be specifically a UE4 pack loader I'm working on. It's a DLL that should work for any game. It will be linked to an INI that you just fill out some bytes to. You shouldn't need an SDK. It should work for almost any game. I'll show how to set that up. I already tested it with games like Everspace and Deep Rock Galactic, which worked fine, along with my friend's game and some other stuff. So that right there is, that's one video I'll be doing. I'll also be continuing the Reversing My Friend's Game series. I just want to I'm going to add a little bit more onto that. The next thing will probably be reversing the classes and generating an SDK. I just got to do some fixes on my end for that, and then I'll make it. So, yeah, if you want to see more of this, Fallen Order stuff, or any of the reversing videos in general, or you have a game that you want me to try to reverse and mod or do some stuff to, just leave a comment down, in the comments. If you want to stay up to date, I really don't care, but you can subscribe. It would, give you the notifications of when I do a new logic mod or something. Give me some ideas for some logic mods, and I'll look to see what I can do. This is just a testing right now, but for 1 day worth of work, not even a full day, maybe like 12 hours less, and half of that was spent sleeping. So I would say that this was probably a good amount of work for today. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you.